Picture this. You're halfway across the world over open water when the pilot's voice drops into your headphones and says, "We're turning back," not because of weather, not because of a mechanical problem, but because the sky itself just became unsafe. Tonight, we're telling the story of the day the Middle East airspace emptied, how Dubai started canceling flights by the hundreds, how airlines rerouted in real time, and how a single crisis turned air travel into a global economic stress test. When flights stop, vacations get ruined. But that's the smallest part of the story. Planes don't just carry people. They carry the invisible bloodstream of the world economy parts. Medicine, fresh food, time-sensitive cargo, and contracts that punish you for being late. Air travel disruption is not inconvenience. It's a tax on uncertainty. And when uncertainty rises, someone always pays. After reports of joint U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, multiple countries in and around the region moved fast, closing airspace and issuing urgent safety guidance. And in aviation, timing is everything. A single closure can ripple outward like a crack in glass because most routes don't have infinite alternatives. They have corridors. Then came Dubai, one of the world's most important aviation hubs. Reporting said Dubai International Airport canceled more than 700 flights, while wider suspensions hit operations in and out of the city, an extraordinary moment for a hub built on constant motion. When Dubai slows down, the world doesn't just pause. It reroutes or it breaks. Rerouting sounds simple, just fly around the danger. But rerouting is expensive, complex, and sometimes impossible. Because rerouting means longer distance, more fuel, new air traffic permissions, crew duty time limits, and fewer slots at alternate airports. A flight isn't just a plane, it's a chain of schedules. Break one link and you delay 10 other flights that never appeared on the news. As risk warnings spread, major airlines began suspending routes, canceling flights, or rerouting away from the most dangerous corridors. Reports included disruptions involving airlines such as Emirates, Air India, Turkish Airlines, Delta, United, Lufthansa, and British Airways, among others. Some airports became pressure valves: Cyprus, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, places that suddenly turned into unplanned backup hubs for a world trying to keep moving. And for passengers, the experience is always the same. You're not a person. You're a booking reference, trapped inside a system trying to survive a crisis. On paper, a cancellation is a line item. In real life, it's a chain reaction. Miss one connection, you miss work, you miss a wedding, you miss a surgery, you miss a deadline with penalties. That's why airlines start offering waivers and flexible rebooking during crises, because the longer it drags on, the cost multiplies. And here's the harsh truth. In a rapidly changing airspace shutdown, nobody knows when the next normal flight will happen. Flight tracking data showed vast patches of airspace clearing like someone wiped the region clean. This is what panic looks like in aviation. Not screaming, not fire, but the quiet absence of aircraft where aircraft should be. When the sky empties, it's because every airline is doing the same calculation. Is this route safe enough that we can justify it if something goes wrong? Because if the answer becomes no, insurance, regulators, and public trust can destroy an airline faster than fuel costs ever could. Here's the thriller part most people miss. The crisis doesn't need to last long to be expensive. When risk increases, insurers price higher premiums, airlines burn more fuel on detours, crews time out and need replacements, hotels and compensation costs rise, cargo deadlines fail. That is the uncertainty tax. It shows up everywhere: ticket prices, shipping costs, and business supply chains. A reroute isn't just a map change. It's an invoice. Dubai is more than a destination. It's a connector, a global interchange for Europe, Asia, Africa travel. So when Dubai experiences widespread cancellations and suspensions, the ripple doesn't stop at the Gulf. It hits London, Frankfurt, Mumbai, Istanbul, New York, and dozens of cities that depend on those connections. For a few hours, the world isn't just delayed, it's reorganized. Inside airline operations centers, this is what's happening. Dispatchers rebuild routes minute by minute, crews are reassigned, aircraft are repositioned, call centers flood, and leadership tries to answer one impossible question. Do we restart operations Or do we wait? Wait too long and the airline bleeds money. Restart too early and you risk lives and reputation. And reputation is everything in aviation. Because in a crisis, passengers don't remember the refund policy. They remember the fear. Reports also described widening closures and restrictions across multiple states, creating a layered no-go environment that forces longer routes around the Gulf and beyond. Even Russia's aviation authorities described suspending flights and advising reroutes after multiple airspace closures and temporary UAE restrictions, showing how far the aviation shock traveled beyond the immediate region. The further the closures spread, the fewer the options remain. And once options shrink, chaos becomes predictable. So what happens next? In aviation, there are three likely outcomes. Outcome 1, quick reopening. Short disruptions, waivers, rebooking. The system heals. Outcome 2, rolling disruptions. Airspace opens and closes in waves. Airlines keep pulling flights day by day. Outcome 3, a new normal for routes. Detours become routine, travel time increases, costs rise, and the world quietly adapts to higher risk. The scary part is this: you don't need a full war for aviation to suffer. You only need a credible threat. If you were flying today or someone stuck in an airport, comment your route and what happened. And answer this: do you think travel stabilizes in 24 hours, 72 hours, or a full week? Subscribe, because the next update won't be about politics. It'll be about the price of fear and who ends up paying it.